If you're just joining us, Shedeur has a oblique strain, unlikely to practice or unlikely to play this weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, because there were some shenanigans from you in the first segment, we didn't fully get into what does Shedeur's strain injury mean for this quarterback kerfuffle. And I think Ross actually, who's joining us in about an hour and 20 minutes, kind of put it perfectly. Like 3 quarterbacks getting hurt from a 4-quarterback derby when you're not allowed to hit the quarterbacks sure feels like how the hell is this happening?
Yeah, it feels like a very Brown story of sorts, right? Now that we have to dip into potentially the 7th quarterback on this roster for this season already.
Who do you want as the 7th quarterback? Should we just wild card it?
I mean, the ball boys that were catching passes for Shedeur, maybe they'll get their opportunity now.
Is Josh Dobbs under contract?
Maybe.
We bring the Pastronaut back?
Maybe. I don't really. The sad part about it is I look at him the same way I look at Tyler Huntley. It's like every rep that's taken is just one that really doesn't matter. If anything.
What about Brian Hoyer?
Sure, if you want to do that, go ahead.
Just camp arm, help out, and maybe you'll start week 17.
Your guy Chase Daniel, get some. You want to talk about quarterbacks all the time,
Diana? I can't do the podcast, Diana.
I'm the camp arm.
The Browns. Diana, what are we doing?
Browns finally called. I'm back.
I'm probably going to start half the season, Diana.
So this is not great for the development of Shedeur Sanders, potentially positioning himself to be second out of the gate here, or really first out of the gate, but the second quarterback on the Browns depth chart. I really thought after Friday it was building momentum. We'll see what happens with Dillon Gabriel on Saturday. But the same thing I said, I can't be the person that yesterday said Gabriel and Kenny Pickett have hurt themselves drastically because their best thing right now, or the thing that they need to have going for them, is availability, and neither one of them had it. And then turn around and watch Shedeur get injured and say this is all hunky-dory and on the up and up, because it just isn't.
I just think that all 3 injuries have really let the Browns off the hook for what has been just an up and down quarterback battle, and disingenuous at points, poorly run at other points. The idea that they have stuck to their guns just a little bit. Like, I think this is going to allow them to just kind of waltz in, give Joe the job, and no one's going to question it because quarterback injuries, when in reality, the only one of real note, the real injury that I think put the kibosh on this quarterback search was Kenny Pickett, meaning it was never truly a 4-way quarterback battle in the first place, which it probably should have been, because I'll say it again for the 1 bazillionth time, the quarterbacks are Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. That's a dubious battle, whether it's a 2-way battle or a 4-way battle.
I mean, it just felt like Flacco had the upper hand to begin with, and no one did anything to threaten that. And because of the injuries, no one even had a chance to. I do wonder at the end of the day if they would have opened it up and we would have had a real chance if we'd seen all these guys. But now we just have too many games, too many practices missed among the 3 that we're trying to compete.
I think inevitably it's turning out how the Browns want it, though.
I think so too. They wanted Flacco to start.
The two most important
we talked a lot about the idea that they wanted Kenny Pickett to start. We wanted Flacco to start.
No. I think they wanted one of the veterans to start.
Okay.
And that was fait accompli. One of them was going to start. It's not the one that I think they wanted in their heart of hearts, but Joe being healthy is good for them. And then 2, I think they wanted Dillon to be the right guy at the right time to be healthy. Dillon, provided that he plays and is able to play half the game or more on Saturday, no matter how he plays, him using this with Kenny Pickett out, which we believe is the case. It hasn't been officially updated yet. But him being able to steal the backup quarterback job from Kenny Pickett this week by playing well this weekend. All right, yeah, they want to see Dillon Gabriel before they see Shedeur. This allows that to happen. They probably want Dillon to be the backup over Kenny Pickett because that takes one guy off the roster, so you're only housing 3 quarterbacks, and they wanted a veteran to start, and Joe's going to start. So I think this lined up as well as Kevin Stefanski could want, because there's nothing new that's going to happen between after this Saturday till the season opens, where Shedeur, in the eyes of fans, can leapfrog Dillon Gabriel for the backup. So you're going to be able to have your whoopee. Dillon's going to be able to see the field first.
Here's why I'm not happy about it, though, is because I wanted to be able to have Dillon see if I'm Stefanski, that is. I wanted to have Dillon see the field first, and it was because Dillon had been awesome and had earned it the entire stretch of the way and looked the part and everything else. Like you want to be able to the saddest thing about a 4-man competition is you want to be able, at the end of the day, to be able to actually stack these guys up, not based off of injuries, but based off of what you saw. And if at the end of this right now, on Saturday night, let's say, he comes out with the depth chart and it's Flacco 1 and then Dillon's number 2. It's like, okay, it felt like we called it a little bit early, even within that, but it's not because Dillon was awesome.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Smart can be biased. And so every time we've questioned the quarterback derby, which is literally our job, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Every time we've questioned it, it's been, well, but Kevin's smart. Yes, fair. I think Kevin is a smart person. But if you're a smart person who has a bias in a situation where you should just let it play out, you can lead yourself to some dumb things. And I think there's been this pass that Kevin has got. And we talked with Dustin, who was in earlier recording spots.
Yeah.
Dustin's done this. I've heard him. We talked about it earlier today. He's like, Kevin's a smart guy. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. He's been a smart guy. They went 3-14 last year.
Smart guys make dumb decisions too. That does happen.
Yeah, well, but smart and biased becomes a very complicated line to walk. And oh, by the way, I don't know that what Kevin's idyllic solution of this quarterback battle is the same as Andrew Berry's. And from Andrew Berry's to Paul DePodesta, from DePodesta to Haslam's. And so there's a lot of things at play here. Like, okay, I think Flacco into Dillon Gabriel is exactly how, or not exactly, but as close to exactly how Kevin Stefanski would want to draw it up. But this idea about, I mean, even talking about like, it's so hard to do a 4-man quarterback battle. They didn't.
No, they really didn't.
No, because Kenny
of the injuries,
Pickett,
they really didn't.
Well, because of Kenny Pickett specifically, they haven't had to run a 4-man quarterback battle since 4 practices into camp.
If anything, it might even justify it to themselves, not to us, but to them, that the 4 quarterback battle is what they needed to do because they were accounting for injuries.
But it's interesting because I've heard fans say this too. I've heard fans, hey, these guys are smart. Let them. It's like they're coming off 3-14. ESPN has their high and low of this season. The high looks great if they can win 9 games. The low's 4 games. And that's a real possibility. And even if I meet Ashley Bastock, who had those same parameters, by the way, even if I meet her in the middle where she's like, I think somewhere in the middle is most likely. Let's go 7 wins. 7 wins still isn't good when you're going to be one step farther away, because I'm assuming 7 wins doesn't all of a sudden turn Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel into a franchise quarterback of the future. So, like, I just continue to come back to this of, like, the Browns don't deserve the benefit of the doubt, especially how they've handled this quarterback situation where in certain circumstances, it feels like their biases are in play, and that has no business in this quarterback room.
All right, so if we buy into their biases, and we have the entire stretch of the way, but if we buy into their biases, this is why this is critical for the Shedeur Sanders fan, the news today, and then watching the idea that he's not going to be able to play on Saturday. If he can't overtake Dillon Gabriel the way that we're suggesting, it seems like it'll be hard to do. Joe Flacco's going to start the season, and he'll get, 6, 7, 8, 9 games somewhere in that stretch, and then it's Dillon out of the gate. And even if Dillon vomits all over his shoes and cannot play the position, looks like DTR, what is that worth? 3 games, maybe 4 games, somewhere in that stretch. The point is, it's not enough time for Shedeur to show them before 2026 draft that he could be the guy.
Well, but I think
you ran out of games.
So I think because the Browns and Kevin specifically, the whole point is I got to give these guys a chance to win. It's putting more pressure on a situation to win, where winning might just not be that feasible. Maybe winning early, maybe a little bit of success might be doable, but across 18 weeks, it's going to be really hard to consistently win with where this roster is and where this quarterback room is. So you're forcing me to grade you on a higher curve than it should be. The starting quarterbacks should be Joe Flacco. Okay, that feels combustible given his age and given his skill set.
That does nothing for the future in evaluating these guys. And the problem with the scenario is if Shedeur's missing games now in practices, how is he possibly going to have enough time to even showcase that he can be the guy?
Okay, but then specific to Dillon Gabriel, you put him on a pedestal. With your actions, you put him on a pedestal no matter what the results are in practice. Every time there's been a debate about how he's looked in practice, it's come down to those numbers don't have context. You don't know what you're looking at. Well, your ass better know what you're looking at. If Dillon Gabriel's first off the bench in lieu of Joe Flacco, and he looks like caca, and Saturday's so important for this, you better do everything you can. You better script this one up like it's the stinking Super Bowl. Because if he looks like crap after several weeks of not looking good or unplayable in practice, people aren't going to let you get to week 6 when you want to go ahead and plug Dillon Gabriel in there. And by the way, he better look damn good.
Here's what they're going to do. They're going to go with the same rhetoric they've been going for the entire time. You don't see what's going on behind closed doors. You can't tell with the computer processing ability that Dillon Gabriel has the way that we can. Like they went to the things that we haven't been able to see and haven't been able to tell, and so they'll spin it whatever way they want to. And in that 6 weeks, they'll make the suggestion that Shedeur Sanders just wasn't ready to play football games, and Dillon Gabriel was. The problem with the scenario is that if you got 11 games by the time Joe Flacco is done with the first 6, it's just not enough games to be able to judge both of those guys on what their prospects are for the future.
216-474-0092. Do you trust the Browns with the quarterback process? It's not all their fault. The injuries are real, but this thing has been wonky and prone to a little bit of bias in a way that I think has then brought out the counter bias by fans, because I think there's a lot of people saying, I don't trust how you're doing this. This doesn't feel legit. That's the one thing it needed to feel. It's the easiest thing you could have done to make it feel legit. And instead, it feels like a lot of window dressing and a bridge to Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and potentially not a whole lot of success.
Well, and the noise, Nick, the noise could have been so loud if he had played awesome Shedeur, that is, in the joint practices and then the second preseason game and then carried that into the third preseason game as well. But it's just not going to be loud enough now.